I want to be honest with you really quickly, I'm always honest with you on here. But yesterday, just to give you a little look behind the curtain, I had some real concerns about the show. I did. I'll admit that. I asked the team, do you really think people are going to sit and watch 14 straight minutes of stories about redistricting and gerrymandering? I mean, I don't want to be up here talking to myself while you're flipping over to car crash coverage on Channel the Other Guys. They said something, I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but it was something along the lines of, Dan, just do what you're told. So that's what I did. And this morning, I woke up and I opened up the ratings anxiously to learn that not only were all of you watching, but our audience grew throughout the show, meaning the people, I don't know, must have been like calling their friends like, dude, are you near TV? Have you heard of Elbridge Gerry? No? Put on the story right now. So, to keep you nerds happy, let's stay on the course. First off, lawmakers have put the redistricting special session on hold until Saturday because someone in the Capitol tested positive for COVID. And according to the Statesman Journal, at least 6 House Republicans asked to be excused because they might have been exposed. The redistricting deadline is Monday, so that means the legislature will only have 3 days to work everything out. Now, back to last night's segment on gerrymandering. Mary Lynn sent me this message and said, I think the professor's explanation, the person we interviewed, of gerrymandering got it backwards. You cannot use race to determine districts, but the Supreme Court said you can use political party demographics. So Mary Lynn, thank you so much for that comment. And I'll admit, my ears also perked up a bit when I heard him say that during the interview. Here's the clip.
You can manipulate the districts, but the Supreme Court has said the only reason you can do that is for racial or ethnic reasons. And so it prevents people, for instance, from making districts where an African-American community, a Black community, for instance, might be split. So there's no chance for a Black person to win to be the representative from that district. So that's the only thing you can take into account. You explicitly cannot take into account party registration when you make districts.
Okay, so here's the deal. Let me break it down. Our professor, first of all, is correct. This is why we have him on the show. You can use race to draw districts. Let me explain. It's based on Article 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which is one of the most important documents in U.S. history and helps ensure minority communities have a voice in politics. So to kind of unpeel the onion here and give you the details, back in the day, white lawmakers didn't want any black lawmakers, and they knew that black people would be most likely to elect a black candidate. So they would split up those black communities into different districts, and that diluted their voting power. Basically, they created districts where even if every black person in that district voted for the same black candidate, there would still be enough white votes to keep that person from elected office. This spurred many court cases, many court cases, including Thornburg v. Gingles, where the Supreme Court created the Gingles test to help lawmakers to create majority-minority districts, which are very literally districts where the minority population, like the black population, would be the majority in that district. This map shows the racial makeup of the current congressional districts in the U.S. So lawmakers use this Gingle test to see if a minority-majority district is needed. First, they take a look to see if the minority group is even big enough to be a majority in a district. In Oregon, for instance, they're not. Neither the black or Latino population is large enough on a state level. Second, they look at the voting records and see if that minority population is politically cohesive. In other words, can you see proof that they want the same things, but they can't get those things because their vote is being diluted? And lastly, is there evidence that the majority group tend to vote for their own race? Meaning, are the white people only voting for white people? Now, if you were listening closely there, you may be a little confused by something, because didn't our professor also say that you cannot account for party registration when drawing a district? Kind of seems to contradict the Gingles test, where voting history is a key factor. How can it be both? Well, I was told it just is. It's got a little asterisk there. All right, the goal of this ruling, or of the Gingles test, is based on the Voting Rights Act, and it gives a voice to minority groups that have similar values and similar beliefs, and it protects those people from having their values and beliefs from being ignored. All right, keep sending in your questions or comments. If they're about redistricting, I'm happy to nerd up. All right, so is the rest of the team, to be honest with you. Keep sending in the story at kgw.com. I'll read a few when we finish the story next.